Hey drummers, hope you're doing well. Shout out to superstar channel member Philip, who's working hard on this. This is Last Christmas by Wham. Now Philip requested this video back just before Christmas, and sorry for the delay, Philip. I think it was almost going to call it next Christmas by the time this video came around. So sorry to keep you hanging on. And he was particularly interested in these two drum fills that happen. It's a really fun drum beat. We should say it's a programmed drum beat on the LinnDrum drum machine. So it's interesting. I think when you come to play these parts live, it's kind of cool. You have to think it out, like, what am I going to do? It's a really busy drum part. It's got these mad drum fills that kind of, well, we'll go through those in a sec, but it's also got some really busy hi-hat. What I've done here is actually simplified the hi-hat a little bit. The challenge is always, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to try and play the part in full? Am I going to, at the other end of the scale, just do something much simpler, much more close to what like an acoustic drum kit player might have played? Or am I going to try to play a part that kind of stays true to the vibe and the feel of the original, but maybe just here and there makes it a little bit smoother to play on acoustic, on with a live drummer, which is what I've decided to do here. So I think this is a nice little middle ground. I'm just going to roll it a little bit. The main feel is 4 on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Snare drum 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I suppose like the core feel is 8ths on the hi-hat. But it takes no time at all before it starts changing it up and the variations start to happen. So you got the like sometimes 3E and 4E and or just 4E and. I'm playing that with one stick on the hi-hat. You could, I guess, if you were finding that tricky, you could do it as like 4E and, like right, left, right, if you're right-handed. But I think it sounds great with one stick on the hi-hat. The other thing that comes around a lot is the crash on beat 2. And anyway, let's look at these two fills. So Philip was asking about the fill bar 8, which is the start of the, just when the intro leads into the verse, and then later halfway through the verse, which is actually really similar. Let's take the big fill now that leads from the intro into the verse. I'll play the 2 bars that include it. Let's take it slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is. 1. So some things to note straight away, which probably make it a bit simpler. One is the bass drum plays all the way 4 on the floor and doesn't change. In this version that I'm presenting here, I'm going to play straight 8s on the hi-hat. On the original, it's a bit busier and it gets very messy. I think playing it all live, good luck to you if you want to do it, but I would play this as a straight 8s on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or at least the first bit of the bar is, and then this is what the snare drum does. All the movement is from the snare. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So one beat at a time. 1 and beat 2, 2 and. First half of the bar then. 1 and 2 and 3 and Remember the hi-hat in 1 and 2 and 3 and is just playing 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and And on beat 4, 4 and which I would, as a right-hander, play right, right, left. I'm going to roll just that bar nice and slow now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's really cool, isn't it? And again, I just think these moments are really lovely because, again, you could just play a straight beat along to this, couldn't you? And sort of basic drum fills that aren't these. But when you do something like that, which is close enough to the original that it really sums up what the part is all about, and it feels right. And if you we're playing it live and you did that, everyone would be like, "Oh, cool, man, that's really nice." Like what a lovely thing that this drummer's sort of taken the effort to really pull that apart and learn it and give it the right feel when they perform it. I think that's really cool. The other fill is this. It's really similar. As I say, this happens halfway through the verse, and the only change here, well, I'll roll it for you. It goes like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So 1 and was the same as previously. This time, 2 and it's 2 snare drums and a hi-hat, so I would play that as right, left, right. And then 3 and 4. So the only difference between this one and the one that happened earlier is on beat 2, where you're doing 2 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So just a bit of fun. I hope that's helpful. I'll do as ever on the channel members page just now. I'll post the main groove and then like notation and practice along for those 2 drum fills. So if nothing else, when you're enjoying playing this song, I think it's really fun just again to repeat, to try and capture a little bit of the vibe of what this is all about. Again, to repeat, you could just play bombed, bop, bombed, but a straight beat. And when you got to the drum fills, you could go like, play the song in a very basic way and it would work fine, but just playing those fills as they sound is a ton of fun. And I think very often we see this when drum parts are programmed, especially, I don't know if this is true, I suspect this is true, especially when they're programmed by people who aren't drummers. They come up with really interesting stuff. As drummers, when we program drum parts into a drum machine or program them in Logic or whatever, we sort of, it can't help but be kind of restricted to what we would physically play, right? We're just so in that way of thinking. What's really cool about non-drummers making drum parts is they often just come up with mad stuff. And the hi-hat, which is dancing all around during these fills, is a really good example of this drum part generally. It's really busy. For programmed drums in a pop song, it's really busy and really interesting. Anyway, shout out to Philip. Thanks for watching as always. Check out the channel members page for notation and practice along versions for those fills. And shout out to all the amazing channel members and supporters of this channel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. If you found these videos useful, please consider supporting this channel via my Buy Me a Coffee support page, where you can buy me a coffee, keep me going, or become a channel member like Philip for a whole load of benefits. Shout out to Philip. See you soon. Cheers.